Welcome to Quickie Reviews, where they will be discussing Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. Now, I gotta be honest, I didn't read any of the comics that relate to the DC universe, but if the comics are anything like the movies, then I'm missing out on an extremely fun time that I should get on right away. I also gotta be honest, I did not see Suicide Squad when it first came out. Instead, I waited till it was on digital to watch it, and I actually found it to be a pretty enjoyable film. And I want to say, despite the mixed reception the movie got, given what people said had flaws to it, I actually think it's a fun time that stands on its own, and it should be checked out if you get the chance to check it out. The reason I'm bringing up Suicide Squad now is because it's now topical to talk about it, as earlier this month we got the news release in the DC animated universe, Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. With an impressive 7.2 on IMDb and a surprising 83% on Rotten Tomatoes, I think it can be said that Suicide Squad Hell to Pay was the version of Suicide Squad people wanted to see back in 2016. A version that has dark elements, comedic timing that fits just right to fit the story that it is, and of course, death. Lots and lots of death. Suicide Squad Hell to Pay is a dark story, and for a dark story, you need a rating to do it justice. That is why I feel that the R rating for this film works. It is able to tell us a grounded in reality story, and while these other superhero films are all about fantasy and smiles and overall the majestic part of superheroes, DC and Suicide Squad tend to stay dark and be more grounded to reality. These are real world stakes that these people are facing. And it also helps that we have characters who have dark backstories of them doing bad, but now are given a chance to do good. So that's why I feel the rating works. Do I think it can get excessive at times? Not really. It finds the right balance to work with. It's something that needs the R rating. Suicide Squad needs that rating to tell its story, and Suicide Squad Hell to Pay is that example of it being done justice. This movie really deserved that R rating. The various scenes of violence were so surreal. It was mesmerizing seeing the animation of that guy's head as it started to bubble up and then finally burst like a balloon, blood gushing everywhere, blood gushing next to his girlfriend. And it was surreal seeing other forms of violence in the film, like the shootout in the beginning, mesmerizing. I like the other stuff too. My favorite part was when the security guard got frozen and Harley Quinn said, "Batter up," and then she hit the guard's head off with her bat. That made me. I would also like to point out that every time Harley Quinn had a moment to shine in this film, she took it and then she made it better. And I gotta give credit to where credit is due, but none of that would happen without Tara Strong providing the voice of Harley Quinn. And you also gotta give credit to her experience for the character, as she also played Harley Quinn in the Batman Arkham games. So she has experience playing sadistic, fun maniac, and I hope they hire her for more Harley Quinn roles in the future. The rest of the characters in the movie also get a time to shine. Every single one has their own reasoning for doing what they do in this film, and it makes them more relatable, as if we were in the same situation, what would we do? Because they do what they have to do to survive, and I get that. And none of that is shown more than what Deadshot does in this film. He does one final job because Amanda tells him that if he does this, he gets out of prison. So he uses that opportunity to get out of prison, to talk to his estranged daughter, who he hasn't seen since he's been in there. And we get why he does that. He wants a relationship with his daughter, who he hasn't seen in years. So we root for him. But enough about all that. What is the story of Hell to Pay? The story goes is that Amanda Waller is dying of terminal illness, and she tasks the squad to track down a card, which when used will grant the user access to heaven. So the squad goes on this road trip to try to find the card, while also at the same time avoiding various villains that they meet along the film. Villains who want the card for themselves, as a matter of fact. Now, the idea of a road trip movie in a superhero film may seem a tad strange, but you gotta keep in mind that the production wanted to accomplish this. So this is all them, and this is something that I pretty much have to agree is not that bad of a setting, given that you're going place to place trying to find the card. So the element of a road trip does fit for this type of film. You also gotta keep in mind that everything is kept secret in this film, so they have to try to get under the radar as much as they could, and they use the Winnebago for that. So the road trip aspect does fit well for the film. I'm not going to go too much into the final act of the film because it gets crazy during that time. You get hit with twist after twist after twist, death after death after death. It's a lot to unpack, and it's emotionally draining to actually sit through and remember it, knowing that there are characters who we've been with in the film that actually meet their maker. So I'm not going to go too much into it. Instead, if you've already seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, I don't know why you're watching this, but check it out if you get the chance, and you'll see what I mean when I say shit goes down. If I can get away with one thing talking about this ending, is how Deadshot completely screws over Amanda when he gives her the card to heaven. When she wasn't looking, or when she wasn't noticing, so to say, he actually used it on another dying member of the team to make sure they got into heaven. I thought that was a little nod that I liked, so yeah. And then we end the movie with Deadshot meeting his daughter outside of her school. But just as we're about to see interaction from them, we roll credits, and that's the end of the movie. So what are my final thoughts on this movie? Well, for starters, I think it's a whole blast flowing through. Like, you get memorable characters, a memorable story, and you just love the film for what it is. If this was a standalone cinematic universe film, I would be okay with that, while at the same time wanting more. And they get the opportunity to do more. They have a wide range of stories to tell that I'm hopeful they can explore. Now, do I think there are problems with this film? I don't really have. It's more like nitpicks, so to say, but at the same time, this film accomplishes so much for what it's given. Those nitpicks can just be tossed out. They're obsolete. Those nitpicks mean nothing because this film is legit good. So that being said, I would like to award Suicide Squad Hell to Pay with an A+. It has memorable characters, a memorable story, and it's just overall fun you can have over and over again without getting tired of each showing. If you've already seen this film, then you know what I mean. But if you somehow haven't seen it, check it out, and you'll be in heaven with each viewing.